Are you ready to set up your very first YouTube advertising campaign in the Google Adwords platform? Perhaps you're not sure where to start, the campaign settings confuse you, and you're ready to go ahead and get some expert advice on the matter. Well, you've come to the right place. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I set up my YouTube in-stream and discovery campaigns to prospect, which is to go out and seek new customers to come to my website that I could potentially sell in the future with one of my courses or one of my products. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the content today, and subscribe for monthly tips and tricks straight from me on how to set up and flourish in paid advertising. Okay, so now that we're in the Google AdWords platform, you're going to go ahead and click into your account that you want to set up the YouTube campaign in. Once we get to the campaign level, you'll go ahead and click on the blue plus here, which will take us into the campaign creation. We're going to create a new campaign. And then once this loads, we are going to start specifying the campaign settings for this particular campaign. So I would go ahead and recommend, let's just go ahead and do without campaign guidance. If you are a bit unfamiliar with the AdWords platform, feel free to use, just go with, website traffic or whatever your goal is for this video campaign. So straight into it. Now what we're going to do is we are going to just first set up in-stream ads, and then we can chat about discovery as well. So I'm going to click video. And then go ahead and just do custom video as well. That way we have the ability to choose all of our different settings. Again, if you are a bit uncomfortable with this, feel free to just read a bit about each of the different type of video formats. If you do have some short 15-second videos or anything like that, I would definitely recommend doing bumpers or some sort of outstream. But we'll just go ahead and custom for now and continue. And then this is going to break us into the campaign settings, ad group settings, and then the ad settings, where we can specify the specific margins for this campaign. So we'll go ahead and scroll down and just go ahead and name this something that we can remember. So I like to do video first, so that I know this is a video campaign, and then perhaps we can write in-stream in here as well, because this is going to be our in-stream. And then I'm going to put the particular topic for this video. So this is going to be for my course launch that's coming up in a month here. And then I like to generally put either who the target audience is or the location. So I'm just going to put Australia for this first one. I think we're probably just going to do New South Wales, but we can just keep this at Australia. Okay. Excellent. So the bid strategy, we're just going to go with maximum CPV, which is maximum cost per view. And what this means is that we are going to tell Google the maximum amount we're willing to pay for somebody to watch 30 seconds of our video. So maximum cost per view, we'll chat about this down where we actually set the bid. But this is what I would recommend for your first YouTube campaign, simply because we're not paying unless someone watches at least 30 seconds of it. So that would mean that your video is relevant to that user. And then you can get into CPM bids, as you get more advanced. But let's just start at maximum cost per view. Okay. So campaign total for budget, I would recommend a daily budget, just because that way we can, ensure that Google will spend a certain amount by day. Some people like to do campaign total. If you only have a $500 budget, for example, feel free to do that. That way Google will not spend any above that. Again, let's go with daily for now. I'm just going to bet $15. I would absolutely always recommend at least $15 on any Google AdWords campaign. We've just seen that anything below this really restricts performance. And I think I wouldn't necessarily start with anything over than $25 either. And this is just because we want to really see the performance and how the campaign's going to, how the target's going to react, how the bid price is going to influence that. So if we start with something massive like $50, sometimes we see Google kind of overserve this straight away to try to spend the budget, whilst it's better to just really start low and then to increase as we go. So I'm going to choose 15. I would choose between 15 and 30, 35 for this, just to get going. Go ahead and put our start date. So again, in Australia, it's the 2nd. So I'm just going to run this guy for 2 weeks. And then just keep in mind, if you do that lifetime budget or campaign total, that if your campaign total is $100 and you want to run the campaign for 2 weeks, that's not really going to be enough to get the full performance. So make sure that you have at least $15 per day throughout the campaign period. So the networks, we want YouTube videos. It's kind of up to you if you want YouTube search results or not. To go ahead and give you an idea of where these will be. Basically, YouTube videos means that it appears right before a YouTube video. So unless you have premium YouTube account, the user yourselves will generally be served a video, an in-stream video, before the YouTube video that you're intending to watch appears. Again, unless you have premium, and in which case you don't get served video ads. So that is an explanation of YouTube videos, and YouTube search results will basically just display right below the actual search bar when someone types in what they're looking for. So I generally, for this one, let's just go both. We'll do search and YouTube video, just because I want to get a wide reach for the purpose of this campaign. And video partners on the display network, I'll go ahead and uncheck that. I've seen a lot of different performance with this, but I think the main thing to keep in mind on video partners is that this isn't necessarily being played on YouTube, so we can't really manipulate how this ad is going to look, right? So we have our video ad that's 2 minutes or whatever that may be, 30 seconds to 1 minute. We want to be able to see exactly how it's going to display, and that's either YouTube videos or YouTube search results. So we kind of don't want to include video partners just because we can't control what it's going to look like on these partner sites. And I've seen some pretty wild looking YouTube ads on partner sites. So locations, this is going to be quite self-explanatory. Again, this is wherever your users are. So keep in mind that defining your niche is really, really important. That's probably step one in all of this, whole strategy for advertising. Who is your niche? Where are they located? Again, for this campaign, I'm just going to do New South Wales because we just went into lockdown here in New South Wales, Australia. So I'm just going to target people that are kind of in the same boat. Okay, so New South Wales, excellent. And then I will go ahead and go to language now. So basically with the language, again, keep in mind your target market. What language obviously are they speaking? If you're in a different country, make sure that your language kind of aligns with everything. Of course, I'm targeting Australia, so it's just going to be English, so I'm not going to change anything here. On inventory type, so I would recommend always going with standard inventory. If you have a budget and a goal, a desired outcome, I think with expanded inventory, that kind of really extends your reach. So that can go a bit out of control. And for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to use the standard inventory tool just so that we can really see the performance of the audience that we're intending to target. And then next we can exclude any type of labels that we want in here. I generally like to exclude live streaming videos just because I feel like people that are watching live stream videos are less likely to be interested in like your advertisement or a video of you trying to tell them about your product or so forth. And then everything else I generally leave. You can exclude the embedded YouTube videos, which just basically is a video embedded like on a site or something like that, but I'll just go ahead and keep it for now. And then related videos, this is a really cool bit where we can give Google a few related videos to kind of make it look more like a natural kind of YouTube flow. So I probably won't add any this time into related videos, but in the future I definitely would, just because I don't have any that are ready right now. And then additional settings, just make sure that the conversion settings are set, devices, if you want it on all devices, and then frequency capping. I'm not going to cap frequency just because I'm keen to get this out to everybody. But if, for example, if you only want viewers to be able to see your video, twice a day, for example, just to kind of, you don't really want to overserve it to your viewers. You don't want to annoy them. So feel free to set those settings there. You'll just go ahead and check it, and then you can set it there, number per day. Again, in like a general video campaign, I would say, you don't want them to see it more than 2 or 3 times. So you can put, 2 per day, 3 per day, whatever that may be. And then impressions would just be eyeballs. So that's the times that they can see it. And then we can do a view frequency as well. So the actual view, which is that 30-second view. Okay. So ad schedule, this you can add in. If you want it to go at all times of the week, all hours of the day, you can add that in here. I like to add them in manually one by one. That way I can add in, that way I can optimize it later. So I'll just go ahead and show you quickly how I do this. And I just want to go all days of the week. So I'm just going to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it is a bit manual when you set it up for the first time. So I'm literally just adding these all manually in here. Sunday. And then what I'm going to do is select the time zone that I want these to run. And this is really important to keep in mind that your ads will only run during these times, but they are also based on the account time zone. So I am in Australia, so these are based on Australian GMT plus 10, which is great. That's my local time. It's easy for me to put my ad schedules together. But if I'm, for example, running advertisements in the States, here in Australia, I have to kind of do that math in my mind and kind of understand what those that timetable needs to look like, as we're quite a while apart. So I would just recommend just using like a date and time converter, and then just have an idea, okay, what days do I need to run, what times do I need to run. When I run ads in the States here in Australia, we are actually ahead a day as well. So that looks something like starting on Tuesday, and then for the work week, and then that ends on Saturday. So it's just a bit different. So make sure you do keep in mind those things as you are setting the time. For this one, I'm just going to do just your basic 6 a.m. And then we'll go ahead and go all the way to 20. Okay, so it looks like it's used to be in 24 hours, so it looks like it's just changed, which is excellent. So I'll just go, let's just say 9 p.m. for these. So what I'm going to do is you just basically copy and paste this all the way across the campaigns. And I like to go from the bottom so that it just is a bit less. And yes, this does take a moment, but it will pay off in the end. So basically, now that instead of just saying, okay, yes, Google, run this all days, all hours of the day, we've specified, Google, we only want to run this. We do want to run this all days, Monday through Sunday. However, we want to see the performance separately of each of these days and each of these time slots. So that just makes it easier when we want to optimize later. This is also really great, when we optimize this campaign in a few weeks. What you can see is, okay, on Fridays my cost per view is a bit higher than on Mondays. Okay, let's turn off Fridays, or let's add a bid multiplier that basically tells Google that we want to deprioritize days because the performance is more expensive, or there is a decline. So now that we've set the ad schedule, we'll go ahead and create the ad group. So because we have our one campaign, which is our video campaign, now we can have several different ad groups within that campaign. For video, I would recommend having 3 ad groups at least. And when we talk about ad groups, these are really audiences, okay? So within this one campaign, I'm gonna have 3 separate audience sets. And again, my goal here is prospecting. So I'm looking for new users to target and to get them to come to my website to potentially be interested in the course that I'm about to sell. So ad group number 1, I'm going to do this based on topics. All right. And we'll just do 1 for now, and then I'll show you how to go in and add the other 2 as we go. So demographics, and if you have any specific demographics that you'd like to exclude or you don't like in there, go ahead and remove them there. I would say just to kind of be careful with removing a lot of demographics at the beginning, because it does restrict performance. So I'm just gonna go in and remove the age groups that I don't want. So I'm targeting just 25 to 44 age group. And then I'm going to go not a parent, because especially on like YouTube and GDN, I find that if you target parents, you will get a lot of kids or younger aged kids, that are under the age of 18 that are using their parents' devices. So you'll get like a lot of like children's games and like all of these like random type of like parenting type apps and placements and all this stuff. So I've just found that, and of course, if your target is parents, like don't exclude them. But for my purpose, I'm looking for 25 to 45, likely female, not-for-profit marketing managers or digital coordinators or heads of communication that would be interested in my Google Grants course that I am selling. So I want them to be not a parent, 25 to 44. Household incomes are only available in a few different countries, so take a look at that. What you will find is there will be quite a lot of unknown incomes if you do, as you do go into the campaigns further, and we'll see that as well. Okay, so we'll scroll down, audiences. So because I want these to be all new people, I don't want anybody that's already been to my website, I do not want them to see this video. I have specific remarketing campaigns that I want the people that have already been to my site to see. So I'm going to browse, and basically what I'm going to do is I'll add an exclusion, an audience exclusion of people that have visited my site. But we won't need to add that at this level. We'll add it when we go and fix up the campaign in a second. So now, in terms of how you actually set this up, so in the content group, we can see that there's keywords, topics, and placements that you can add. So keywords are simply same as search keywords. You can add a list of keywords, and these will be broad match across the display network, across YouTube. And basically you can say, okay, here are a few keywords that are important to my business. I'm gonna add those in, and Google will find people that are either searching for those keywords, that are searching for keywords that are relevant to those keywords or similar, and then they'll serve your ad to them. So you can use keywords if you like. Topics are basically you determine topics that are relevant to your audience. So, especially since I'm targeting not-for-profits, there's not going to be like a topic for not-for-profits here. So this is where you have to get really creative with your niche. What sort of things are they interested in? What topics are they searching across the internet? And that's where you add these in. So for example, if you, are trying to target someone who Perhaps you have like a dog salon and you're doing dog grooming, then you'll want to target people that like pets and animals and kind of that sort of thing. For me, the not-for-profits space, so I want to target kind of charities and more people that are interested in those sort of things. So you can go ahead and type in this search box, you can go ahead and type in and it'll kind of give you an idea what they've got here. But I'm going to go ahead and look for people that are interested in social issues and advocacy. So I'm going to go choose a few charities here and see what we've got. And then you can kind of just type in anything that you think is relevant. Like I'm going to see if there's any nonprofit topics. So it doesn't look like there's anything specific. I chose like the hardest niche to find. Okay, so you know what? Let's just keep it charity and philanthropy right now. I'm happy to just test this out, charity. As a topic and see how we go. So I will just rename this ad group charity topic just so that I can easily see what I am targeting in this one. And then we'll go down to the bidding. And then for bidding here, so again, that's the max cost per view. Cost per view is defined as someone who watches at least 30 seconds of your video. So do take into account how long your video is, because this will determine, how much your cost per view is. I would recommend, and there are loads of different videos online that'll tell you exactly how to record your video for success on YouTube. But I would say you definitely want to keep this quite short and sweet. So I would say between 1 minute and 2 or 3 minutes is kind of where you want to keep that. I wouldn't get any longer because it'll be a bit too long-winded. I would get this short and straight to the point of what you're trying to sell and what your offer is. So cost per view bid, I'm just going to, again, I would keep cost per view between 10 cents and 50 cents in this case. But I'm going to go ahead and go on just right at the middle. So I'm going to do 25 cents. And then this top content bid adjustment basically just allows you to bid higher for YouTube videos that are deemed top content. So you can put like a 5% in here, you can put a 10%, but that will actively increase your cost per view bid to bid higher to win placements that are deemed top content. Okay, so now this is where we add the actual ads. And when we talk about YouTube videos and YouTube ads, these are basically YouTube videos that are already online, already on YouTube, that you're just going to pull over as your YouTube ad. So what I would recommend is when you do add your YouTube videos onto your site, onto your channel rather, you want to make sure that you add these as unlisted. Just so that this doesn't impact your channel details and channel analytics. So I'll go ahead and show you my videos that we're going to use. So you upload them on YouTube just as you would any other YouTube video. You make sure that you have great descriptions, all of your keyword tags. You make sure that the video is very well optimized for YouTube. And then you make sure that they're unlisted. So you can see these here are unlisted. And then you'll just come in and then you'll click the 3 dots there and then get shareable link. And that link's then copied. So then I'm going to go back into here and just paste it right in there. Okay, excellent. Everything looks good. And then this one's going to be skippable in-stream ad, as we discussed. So then you're going to have to fill in a few other details here for the ad. So you're going to put the final URL here. And that final URL should be a landing page that's on your site that is very specific to the campaign and the promotion that you're trying to push. So you'll go ahead and insert it there. Make sure that you don't double up on the HTTPS. And then the display URL, that is just simply what you want the link to display as. You can keep it the same as your final URL, or you can shorten it down if you'd like. Some people that have very long-winded URLs like to shorten that down as well. So then, because we want to drive a desired action on this YouTube video ad, we're going to click call to action here. And then you're going to say directly what you want the user to do after watching this video. So I'm going to do, and you only get 10 characters here, which is pretty tough, but I'm going to go ahead and do enroll now, and that's 1L here in Australia. And then what I'm going to do is you get headline space, which is about 15 characters. So this just really gives a user an idea of what you're trying to do as well. So I'm going to put ad grant course open. It's too long, which is wild, so we're just going to do ad grant course, okay, which it will show up right there, ad grant course, next to me, and then enroll now. Okay, so that all looks good so far, and then we want to do advanced. So go ahead and click down for the advanced options, and just if you have a look here, you can add any of your custom parameters, or we probably won't be doing that just for the sake of this video. And then this is the really important bit if you want a companion banner. So you can either use the auto-generated banner, or you can upload your own image. If you upload, it has to be quite small, 300 by 60. So keep that up at auto-generate if you'd like. And then this is where the ad name goes. So I would try to put something that gives you kind of an idea of what this video is, just for the sake of optimizing later down the track. So I like to refer to them by the length that they are. And course launch video. Okay, so that ad looks excellent. We'll go ahead and create campaign now. And if you want to get an idea of the impressions or estimates, that little bar will pop out on the right there. This will be your campaign confirmation. Feel free to have a look at anything just to kind of get an idea if everything's been set up correctly, and then continue to campaign. So this will now pop us out at the ad group level, but you can see on the left here that our video campaign is now in our account. And you can tell that because it has the little video camera there versus a search has the magnifying glass there. So now at the campaign level, we're now in ad groups, and we just have our charity topic, right? So we only have that one ad group so far. So I'm going to go ahead and click into this, and I'm going to add a couple more advertisements. So I'm just going to add the plus sign, and then I have 2 more advertisements that I want to add into here. So I've made 3 videos altogether. So I'll just get the shareable link for the second one. And then unfortunately, you do have to manually type in all of these parameters here. There's not really like a quick way to copy them all over. Add the call to action. Again, feel free to play with something else. You can do sign up, and then feel free to fill in the rest of the 207 course launch. Then headline. Let's just do like enroll in course. Enroll in course. And we'll do learn more. Okay, that's another one. Save ad. And then for the third one, we will do the exact same thing all over again. So we'll go into here, get shareable link. We will bring it over here. And if your video doesn't come up when you try to get that shareable link and post it in there, means that there's an issue, and perhaps you've got it at private or something to this fact. So just do keep that in mind as well. Okay, call to action. Oh no. Add grant course, and then this one. Okay, course launch. All right. So now that we have all of our ads in our ad group, now what we are going to do is we'll go ahead and add our additional ad groups. So we'll go into here, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy, and then you can do Control V and just paste this right in here. Okay, so this is the correct campaign. Done. And then we'll go ahead and paste, and that way that ad group will copy over with those 3 ads within it. So we don't have to, create each separate ad group and then manually create all of the ads within it. We can just copy them over. So that's going to be the quickest way to do that. I've copied over our charity topic ad group. What we're going to do is we'll go ahead and click on the copy, and this will take us straight into this new ad group that we've copied over. And then what we'll do is we'll go straight into the placements portion, and this is going to be our placements ad group. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add some target placements into this ad group that we're going to go after. Keep in mind this is just on YouTube and YouTube videos, so just try to only select those as you're searching. Again, you can type in what you're looking for. I'm going to look for nonprofit marketing because these, nonprofit marketers will perhaps be subscribed to other channels and watching other videos as well. So I want to click on YouTube channels, and then all I'm going to do is go ahead and click on all of these that seem relevant. You might just you can click on it and have a look if it is actually relevant. So make sure that you do have a good look on this. I recognize a few of these, so I'm just going to add them in. Feel free to load more. And if there is a particular YouTube channel that you are looking for that isn't listed, it's possible that because it's too small, that you're not able to target that. They do have to be a certain size before you're able to go after them. And in fact, I would recommend going for YouTube videos that have, let's say, at least 5,000 subscribers, just because if you go after YouTube videos that have a small subscriber pool, one, the cost per view is probably going to be more expensive, and 2, the video ads might not even serve because the volume is just too small. So try to think bigger in terms of volume, especially now before, just as we're starting out. So I'll go ahead and add a few more placements in here as we go. And then I'm going to go specific Google grants and see if there's anything in particular that we can find here. I don't think there's going to be too much in here. Yeah, just make sure that you do have a good look in here. A lot of times they seem a bit irrelevant, so just don't add everything. Definitely be mindful of what you are adding. And then there's a bunch of videos here that I'm going to add as well. Yeah. Cool. And again, I only want to go for the ones that have a good amount of views. Okay, cool. So save. So again, with this, make sure that you do add quite a bit of YouTube videos and YouTube channels, just so that the volume is high enough. I've run several YouTube campaigns where you check back in a few days and it hasn't even served, and that's just because the volume is too low. So the bigger the better here. And then what we're going to do is we'll go into the campaign again, and then at the ad group level, we'll just go ahead and rename this ad group. This is going to be our placement ad group. So we can just put placements. Again, you can be more specific in how you name these as you like. And then lastly, I'm just going to copy and paste. So Command C, Command V, that same ad group that we pasted initially. And what I'm going to do then is add in our last ad group here, which is going to be our keywords ad group. So what you can be doing as you wait for it to load is to get any keywords that you'd like to target in this ad group. So these keywords, basically, your ads will play on videos where they have these keywords as tags in the back end of them. So I'll go ahead and just grab all of these keywords that are relevant to my course, and then once this ad group, then we will click into it in this left navigation bar, and then we can go straight into the keyword level at this stage. And I'm just doing this quite quick, but it's always necessary to kind of just have a play around in the audiences, have a look, take 20, take 30 minutes to just have a look at all the audiences that are available. There are so many, so it's really important that you kind of think, is this audience right for me? With my charity topic audience, that isn't really going to be so great for my course. We'll go ahead and test it and see how we go. But you really want to find the most relevant topics, keywords and placements that you can, because somebody who, is interested in a charity, one, they don't work for a charity, and two, they don't necessarily have a Google grant. So that is probably too big of an audience, but we'll go ahead and give it a test and come back and see how it goes. But you really want to be very specific to the niche that you are targeting. So unfortunately for that charity topic, there isn't a way to just select people who are not-for-profit, working for not-for-profits, or that already have a Google grant, which would be incredible for me. But you kind of have to get a bit creative with these, like I said, see what's available, see if it matches up to the target that you're intending to reach, and then just really test it. I mean, you'll learn the most from testing, so just put out as much as you can and then test and come back and see what's working, see what's not. So now we've just clicked straight into this ad group, and then I'm just going to Command V, paste all of the keywords that I just copied over, and these are just keywords that are really relevant to my course and to the people that I'm intending to target. So you can also enter your website if you'd like, or enter products, and it'll give you keyword suggestions. Just be careful with this. Sometimes they get a bit irrelevant to your brand and product. So I've got these here. We'll just save, and then that's going to pop all those keywords down below. Excellent. And then it'll give you an idea if there's few page matches or if it's fine and good to go. And then that maximum cost per view, you can see that's here, that 25 cents. All right, so the last thing that we need to do here is just rename this ad group so that it makes sense to us as we're optimizing. So this one, we're just going to name this one keywords, and then we're going to save that. So now we have 3 different ad groups here. We have one that's just targeting charity as a topic, a second that's targeting specific placements relevant to not-for-profits, and then the third that is targeting keywords. So this is just a really basic example. There are so many other targeting options that you can use. One of my favorites is selecting just particular YouTube videos that you'd like to target, and a good way to do that is to find all of your competitors, find their top 10 YouTube videos and then just target those. Is a really good way to get a competitive advantage on a competitor that isn't potentially running ads or doesn't know about them. So now that we've got these all set up, that audience that I said that I wanted to exclude, we're going to do that now. We're just going to click at the campaign level into Audiences, Exclusions. And now what we're going to add is an audience of all users that have been to our website already. So that is just allowing us to only get new users from this campaign. I don't want to hit anyone that's been to site already. I'll hit those in a remarketing campaign. So again, you'll need to have your pixel on site to set this up, or you'll need to be integrated with Google Analytics so that you can import that audience of all users on your site into AdWords. So those are 2 steps you'll need to have for this to work. So now I'll go to website visitors under here, and then here I'm just going to do all users. There's a few different ones you could do. You can do all visitors, you can do all visitors from Google Analytics, all visitors that have hit your Google AdWords tag, any of those. They're all going to be quite similar. So I'm just going to do all users, and this is just from the last 90 days using my analytics tag. All right, so I'm going to save this, and this is set at the campaign level. And then this looks pretty good. Again, you can take a look, double look into anything if you want to maybe check into your ads and make sure you have 9 ads here because we have 3 ad groups, 3 in each. If you just want to take a quick check, everything looks good. Again, you can see some are eligible straight away and some are still pending under review. So this could take a few days for these to actually be eligible to show. So do keep that in mind. One of your videos can be active and it could show for 2 days, and then the other 2 finally come up and they're active as well. So especially if you're doing A/B tests, just be conscious of when everything is eligible to show. If you want to, there's a few tricks you can do here. You can set it as a really low budget, like $1 a day or even 50 cents just to get them approved. And then you can increase the budget to like your $15 to $20 per day. Or you can schedule these in the future to launch in a week or in a few days, and then that way they can go under the approval process prior to launch. So that's another way that you can ensure that they're ready to go if you're doing like a proper A/B test and you need them to run during the same periods. Okay, so now we have pretty much everything set up for our video campaign. We, it can take anywhere from 24 hours to, I've seen like 4 or 5 days for the entire campaign to be approved to run. So one of the main things is do not touch this for at least a week. So just let it kind of sit. If you notice it's not running tomorrow or the next day, don't go in and change bids. Oh, let me increase my cost per view to $1, or let me increase my this and that. Just don't touch it because this is very, very touchy, what we've found. So what you want to do is give it at least a week to, for Google to be able to approve it and for Google to be able to serve it without you getting in and touching a bunch of stuff as you go. Okay, so very important. And again, give it at least 3 or 4 days before you get in and start messaging Google that it's not running and that you have issues, etc. Just kind of give yourself a bit of time here. And then, of course, like I said, if this is a high pressure launch, I would, get it ready a few days before, if not a week before, and get it approved and ready to go, or get it approved on a small budget so that you're ready for that high pressure launch and everything is foolproof. Okay? Be sure to stay tuned for my next video where I'll show you exactly how I check in on performance and exactly how I optimize this campaign. If you liked the video, don't forget to just subscribe to get monthly tips and tricks on how to flourish in paid advertising. If you have a question, be sure to subscribe first and then ask your question down in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to the next video on how to flourish in paid advertising with you. Thank you.